At approximately 4 o'clock this evening, units responded to a person shot call at the location. Had a very fast response to the location, and once here they were able to come into contact with a victim who stated that he was walking out of the store, and as he approached his vehicle, someone was breaking into his vehicle and taking items out. That victim confronted the subject, and during that confrontation, it escalated to the point where the victim chose to take his weapon and defend himself against the people that were breaking into the vehicle. Additional preliminary investigation revealed that right immediately after that gunfire, that there was another person fleeing from the scene shooting as well. Again, because of the quick response, units were able to get into the area, set up a perimeter, and able to locate the second person a short distance away. That person sustained a gunshot wound, I believe, to the wrist. The first victim that was shot was deceased on scene. At this particular point, we have our homicide units out, along with our larceny from auto detectives, working joint together to really and truly put all the pieces of this investigation together. At this particular point, again, the second person is at the hospital in stable condition, and the investigation is ongoing at this time.
So the second person, Deputy Chief, was among those that were engaged in this dispute here in the parking lot?
Yes, at this particular point in time, we believe that the person that's deceased on scene and the second person were together, and that second person at the onset of the gunfire began to run, firing a weapon as well. Again, it's still early in the investigation, so what we want to do is try to pull all the surveillance and pull all of the statements and pieces of the puzzle together so that we'll have a conclusion as to what transpired for absolute certainty. What we do know is that the victim's vehicle, again, was entered. We do know that some of the victim's property has been recovered on the scene, but not inside the vehicle where it was originally left. So we'll, again, be making sure that we...
And can you verify that the two vehicles in the parking lot, the red vehicle and the black vehicle, are those the ones that were involved in this altercation?
Yes, they are.
And the red vehicle has a bullet hole in the window. Any idea whose gun fired that shot?
So there is damage to that particular vehicle. So they'll be looking at that evidence, trying to look at it to determine that. There are some gunshot wound holes in that vehicle, but there are also additional defects that very well may not be from a gunshot. So again, that'll be parts of the investigation that we put together.
So was this a gun battle? Were they both firing at each other?
At some point, we do know that more than one weapon was discharged. Whether we call it a gun battle or not will determine what we're able to determine from the investigation itself.
Were all three armed in this situation?
So we have recovered at least one weapon. We're still working in the scene, and we'll see what we get from that other side of it.
Who did that weapon belong to?
So actually, let me exchange that. We've actually recovered two weapons. There was one weapon that was recovered from the second suspect that we caught, and there was a weapon, of course, from the original victim himself who was armed.
Will the victim be charged with shooting these guys?
So it's very early in the investigation. What we want to do, again, is get all the facts and present all of that information to the district attorney to make that determination.
The red car, did that belong to the suspects, or that's just an innocent person's vehicle that was caught in the crossfire?
It appears to be the victim's vehicle that came out of the location and found someone inside of it.
The red one?
Yes.
Did the victim know the people that were breaking into his car?
Not to my knowledge.
Was anything else hit or shot in the parking lot or the surrounding area that you know of?
Still early, not certain. We are working the crime scene now and going over it in a meticulous way. So at this particular, we don't believe that there was any other person shot outside of those as well, and we don't believe that there was any other damage. But again, they will take their time and process the scene and ensure that we follow up on all of that.
Can you talk about what happened at the second location, where you
So,
found the second victim?
So while out canvassing the area, they were able to locate that second person through ways of 911 call and patrol officers out looking for that second person. They were able to take him into custody without incident, and he was transported to the hospital for his injury.
At this point, is there anyone else involved in this situation? Do people who live around here need to watch out for any other suspects?
Absolutely not. Right now, this scene is safe. The area is safe. It appears to be that this was a group of people who decided to come out and commit crimes, and unfortunately, it led to the death of someone.